So you open your phone and bang, it's Valentine's Day. Cue the internal groan. Then the loud, I don't care, except you kind of do. And it's just that kind of ache inside of you that reminds you you're on your own now. It's not that you're devastated necessarily, it's just a little bit under the skin. I bet you've been separated for a while. And so you might be asking yourself, well, why is today bothering me so much? Because Valentine's Day is one of those days where couples are meant to show how much they matter to each other. And when we're single, obviously, then we don't have a someone. Today, I want to help you turn this day from something that you dread into an invitation to take better care of yourself. Let's be honest, there is no way whatsoever of avoiding Valentine's Day. It is a marketing machine that most of us have bought into in our lives. For singles, it can feel like a day that is full of highlights about who loves them, how they love them, how much they love them, how important they are. And for those of us who have gone through a breakup, it can stir up longing for our ex. Even if you're over your ex, it can kind of gnaw at you on days like this. So, I bet when you were together, he probably forgot Valentine's Day. Maybe he grabbed some really tired flowers in the shop on the way home, or a box of chocolates that had gone on special because it was nearly closing time. Or maybe, like me, you've been together too long that you couldn't even be bothered anymore. And it was kind of like, oh, yeah, it's Valentine's Day. But the ache can still come up. And the ache is about the relationship, it's about belonging to someone. So maybe that's what's being highlighted right now, because now you're on your own and there isn't another. It can bring up all sorts of thoughts, that maybe one day there might be somebody else. That might be exciting. It could be terrifying. The idea that maybe you didn't think was possible early on in your breakup. But it's a really normal part of letting go and starting over, is that we start to look past all of the heartbreak and sadness and start to look about what's next. Once all the shock wears off and you start getting on with things that felt really daunting at first, maybe, how do I manage the money? How do I navigate the changes in the family that we've got now? And there's a lot of loss early on in separation. But as time goes on, you start to realize that you're probably going to be okay and you're going to get through this. The heartbreak and all of the really acute pain is probably past, and you can manage maybe thinking about the future and maybe opening your heart up again, which can feel pretty scary. It might not feel possible yet. It might not feel safe yet to think about a new relationship. But on days like today, it reminds you that you're just like the rest of us. You still want love. You still want connection. You still want to feel seen and heard and valued by someone. And you can't see right now how that's ever going to happen again, which is what most women tell me after a long-term relationship ends. And I'm talking decades, not years. I know thousands of women who have had conversations with me that are about, what if this is it? Or do you think it's possible that I might love somebody again, and that seed gets planted. Maybe there will be love again. Maybe there will be another partner sometime down the track. Maybe there'll be another life that is better than it was before. And with that new seed being planted, it isn't just love that kind of starts to waken up, but it's how we want to live our lives. This time around, we want to do it different, maybe. What really matters to us. When menopause hits and midlife hits, we start to look at life from a really different point of view. What really matters to us? What do we really want? What do we really long for? Time to let go of some of the shit that drains you. You don't have to rush into this, but maybe checking in with yourself. What parts of my life fit? What parts feel right? What feels safe and good for me? And let those things grow. On Valentine's Day, what helps is things like, not performing, not pretending to be fine, not pretending at all, just doing little tiny things, small things that remind you that you love yourself and you care about yourself, not for Instagram, not for anybody else, just for you. Maybe you buy yourself some pretty flowers. Maybe you have a meal that you really enjoy. You order in something you never normally would. Maybe you find a quiet little pretty little table somewhere in a restaurant. You slow down a bit. Maybe book a massage, or maybe you just rest. Whatever feels kind and good for you, do that thing. Don't rush it. Don't minimize it. Don't talk yourself out of it, because you matter and you love yourself. You don't need somebody else to do it right now. In this day, you can do it for you. This stage of a breakup is painful and messy. We're learning how to be alone. We're learning how to start opening up a bit, to be open without being reckless, but being independent without being isolated. And it matters. And we need to realize that. And it's challenging, I know. But on this day, on this Valentine's Day, I want to invite you to start thinking about it. I'd love to know what you decide to do to honor yourself today. Let me know in the comments. And if you're struggling with a breakup and your hormones are going mad, I host a weekly live Q&A call on the channel. I'd love you to come and just hang out with me, or you can ask me questions if you like. I'll pop a couple of videos up here for you that you also might find interesting. Right now, darling, take the best care of yourself. Until next time.